Good morning, everybody!
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God. Good morning, Detroit. Good morning, Fish. Good morning, Michael. Jeff. Good morning, buddy. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing fantastic. I really am. We had the pregame show yesterday. We covered the Seahawks and the Rams game. It was very stressful. But regardless of that result, the result we watched last night made up for everything. How the Lions played 2-0 against the Packers this season.
I can't believe it. Are you fucking kidding me? A winning record in year 2, a 1-6 start, an 8-2 finish. I mean, my God.
You know what, Adam? I hope the NFL learned something today. Put the Lions on primetime, because that's what happens. The Packers, who have played on primetime multiple times this year, just got their ass handed to them for the second time this season. The Packers scored 16 last night. You know when's the last time they scored that low of a score recently? It was against the Detroit Lions,
when they scored 9 points?
Yes,
I know,
sir.
buddy. Look, here's what we're going to start.
5-1 in the division.
Here's what we're going to do, all right? We're going to start with... I think we really need to understand what happened last night, okay? Mm-hmm. Last night, you watched your football team commit all the wrong penalties, untimely, take 6 off the board of Jamison Williams, negate a Kirby Joseph interception. So many things that, whether you want to blame the refs or not, they were obvious penalties, by the way, but regardless, you made a lot of mistakes on the road in a primetime game against a division rival with, yes, maybe not the everything on the line, but you were playing spoiler last night. We all knew the situation. And it was the Lions that were able to overcome it all. Not the Packers, not the seasoned vet in Aaron Rodgers, not the seasoned coach who's in his 4th year in Matt LaFleur. It was Dan Campbell and his young team that were able to overcome penalties, that were able to make timely plays, force Aaron Rodgers to turn over the ball multiple times. And you know who didn't turn the ball over last night? Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions.
When's the last time he turned the ball over, Adam?
I can't remember, because for 9 straight weeks now, the motherfucker hasn't thrown an interception. So last I checked... Oh, by the way, not only that, historically, the Lions are the first team in NFL history. Check this one out. The first team in NFL history to score 20 or more points in 9 consecutive games without throwing an interception. Take that for what you will. My God, you watched a young Detroit Lions team grow up in front of you on national television. And no, the Packers aren't world beaters. No, this isn't the Packers from years prior. But damn it, it's on the road, it's at Lambeau, and it's the first time, you sweep the Packers since '83?
Yeah.
My God.
And Adam, I can't describe, what the feeling when you're watching that Rams game and you see that graphic pop up on the screen before the Lions game saying the Lions are 3-27 in their last 30 at Lambeau. And you see all the stats. Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur, 18-1 in December and January. Everybody on TV picking the Packers. And I'm not going to lie to you, I did pick the Packers. There was a part of me that felt like the youth of this team would cost them. Boy, I was wrong. Even the penalties they endured during that game, they overcame them. James Houston, offsides, Matt Nelson, the holding penalty, a plethora of mistakes, they overcame them. And that was the most impressive thing, and I'm glad I was wrong. If I had to be wrong in a prediction, you're damn straight it was that game. The Lions, they showed up, even in the game where, I don't want to say they didn't have anything to play for, but the playoffs were eliminated. Go spoil the Packers. And boy, they did. I got to tell you. And there were some players, young players, that made plays once again. Aidan Hutchinson, 2 sacks. Big sacks, by the way. Timely sacks. And you had Kirby Joseph, had the interception, called back. Guess what? I'll go get another one. That's Kirby Joseph for you. Man, the Lions, they got a bright future. They really do. To be 5-1 in the division, and you could argue they could be 6-0 if they didn't completely melt down at Minnesota early in the year. Man.
See that finger? I've been warming it up since last night.
Oh, you have?
It's been working out. Look at this. 1 sit-up, 2 sit-ups, 3 sit-ups, 4 sit-ups, 5 sit-ups, 6, 7, 8, 9. You guys count with me. 10, 11. Wait.
Oh. Whoa.
12. That's for you, Aaron. You bitch! Enjoy retirement. Hey, enjoy Cabo. Enjoy wherever the hell you're going to go. Because I know it's not to the playoffs. And you'll be watching the playoffs from home just like everybody else. So enjoy. Hey, oh my God! What's up, baby?
Aaron Rodgers. Have fun in Cabo. Have fun in Cabo. And we might have, the Lions not only knocked Aaron Rodgers out of the playoffs, they very well might have knocked him out of Green Bay.
I think that story is done. They're in cap hell. If he retires, it's only going to fuck them even more. And that's what happens when you pay your quarterback that kind of money that late into his career. Oh, including you don't pay Devonta Adams. That's a whole thing. I don't care about the Packers this morning. You know what I care about? I care about one of the younger teams in the NFL. The third or fourth youngest roster in the NFL.
Yes.
I care about them, and you know what? I got to say this about Dan Campbell because he deserves it this morning. I was so fucking hard on him when they were 1-6. Called him a turd, had no business coaching in the NFL, and you know what? I was wrong. I was wrong. And I will gladly say that. Because at 1-6, you were 0-10-1 in one possession games. You were 0-11-1 on the road. You were, 4-19-1 overall. Brian Daboll in his first 5 games had more wins than you did in your whole tenure. That was concerning. But to his credit, his players believed in him. His players saw beyond the data points, beyond the history of the NFL. They saw beyond it, and they continue to play.
Right.
And yes, you can look at the Aubrey Pleasant firing and saying that had an impact, whatever you want to say. But Aaron Glenn has turned the defense around in the last 10 games. They're young, they're hungry, and they've been a pain in the ass to play against. The offense has been advertised with Ben Johnson, and Dan Campbell has been the guy that's kept it all together, and they've somehow won 8 of their last 10 games. I've never seen this before. And I'm glad to be wrong this morning. And look, does he still need to go out and make the playoffs and win some division titles before we inaugurate this guy as one of the best head coaches? Sure. But I'm sorry. Year 1 and year 2, what did you want to see, Jeff? You wanted to see progress. And what exactly did Dan Campbell give you in his second year?
A winning record.
A winning record from 3 wins to 9 wins, from 2-4 in the division to 5-1, from a 1-6 start to an 8-2 finish, from a young core of studs who have grown up over the last 10 weeks that you will carry over into the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. You're talking a young core that in the NFC we're looking at a top 3, top 4 roster after Brad Holmes is done in this offseason with it.
Right.
6th overall, 18th overall. And it only gets better. 2 picks in the second round. This team is going to reload, get younger, probably get a few veterans, and watch out for next year. Because next season, Lions fans, I'm telling you from now, it's about competing for the North. That is it. That's the expectation. I don't care who you are. They have earned that talk. That is not me saying it's year 3. They got to do something now. No. We're past that. 9-8. An 8-2 finish, and it's already hard enough to win in the NFL. To look that good for a 10-week stretch, they've looked like one of the 5, 6, 7 best teams in the NFL over the last 10 weeks, and nobody can debate that, Jeff.
No, not at all. And if you look at even Sheila early in the season coming out preaching patience, and she got a lot of flack for what she said, and obviously 1-6, it's hard to be patient, but she was right all along. Because, and I got to give her credit this morning too, because you hire Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes. It seems like the entire organization is in sync from the top to the bottom. And the fact that Brad Holmes, you're going to allow him to go into the NFL draft with the 6th to 18th pick and 2 second-round picks. You allowed Brad Holmes to trade your Pro Bowl tight end, and you got better. I mean, in a season where you're 1-6, you trade away one of your better players offensively, it's hard to be optimistic. But damn. What they did to finish the season 8-2, one of the hottest teams in football, beating your rivals. You're 5-1 in the division, should be 6-0. I got to give a lot of credit just to Sheila, and I get it for staying the course, because Dan, that's been the storyline all year, is these young players getting better, and you're seeing it right in front of your very own eyes. You're seeing players that are going to be here for years make plays consistently, and Jared Goff, he gets a lot of credit too, because you talk about his adjustment from 1-6 to right now. 1-6, he's turning the ball over. Right now, he hasn't thrown an interception in 9 games to finish the season. 8-2 during that stretch. The Lions, they look like they're poised. And I know momentum doesn't carry over from season to season. And you really gotta figure out a way to start better next year, and you can't start in a hole. But damn, they look good.
I'm gonna list off 4 teams, and I want you to tell me what they have in common. The Philadelphia Eagles, the Dallas Cowboys, the Minnesota Vikings, or excuse me, I apologize, not Minnesota. The Cowboys, the Eagles, Jeff, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Seahawks. What do they have in common? They're all the playoff team.
Yeah. No, they're in the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
I was waiting on you to answer.
Yeah, no.
I thought that was obvious.
I was asking you.
No, yeah, they're in the playoffs.
Okay. You know what else they have in common? There are only 4 teams in the NFC that have made the playoffs that have a positive point differential. You know who the 5th team is? The Detroit Lions. You know who scored more points this season than the division-winning 13-4 Minnesota Vikings? The Detroit Lions. You know who have given up as many points as the division-winning Minnesota Vikings? The Detroit Lions. That's your bar. That's your ceiling. And at 1-6, it didn't look like you could figure it out, because there was always something that could and would go wrong.
Right.
And over the last 10 games, you went toe-to-toe with the Bills. You kicked everybody's ass except Carolina. That was your one clunker. And you know what? You're due for one in a 10-game stretch. When you're playing that good, you're kind of due for one. And now looking back at the last 10 games of the year, I have never seen anything like this. I've been alive for 28 years. I've never seen a Lions team look that good, win this type of way,
right.
Go on the road to Lambeau in those circumstances and show out. They had nothing to play for last night.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? In that locker room, they had everything to play for. That was, hey, this game is a statement of intent for next year. The Bears, years behind the Lions. The Packers, years behind the Lions. And I'm still not sure what to think of Minnesota. We'll see what they do in the offseason.
Yeah, their window's
But
closing.
they're 13-4. Man, next year that looks like a 9-8, 10-7 team.
Yeah.
And if you're telling me 10-7, 11-6 can win the division, I'm giving the Lions a damn good chance of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
They have totally reshaped the way we look at the Detroit Lions as an organization. And look, yes, they still need to prove it. They still need to go out and win the division. They still need to go out and make the playoffs. They still have a lot of long-term goals that they need to hit and achieve, and milestones that they have to reach. But have you ever been more confident? Have you ever been more confident? Before the season, I said this very same thing. You have something that teams in the NFL would die for. A young core, a young offensive coordinator, a top offensive line, and an attitude where, you know what, I see the Lions on the schedule. Fuck. It's going to be a tough game. Even if we play our best football, they're going to be a pain in the ass. And that was the mantra going into the year. And at 1-6, it didn't feel or look that way. But over the last 10 games, it has been exactly that. An offense that finds a way. And an offense that on the final drive of the game when it mattered most converted 2 fourth and short situations. One of which was set up by a beautiful pitch and catch, which I've never seen before. Do you want to call it a hook and ladder? I don't care. And the second empty set, 4th and 2, season on the line, send Green Bay home. You go empty set, Jared Goff, DJ Chark, fuck you, Aaron Rodgers. The rest is history. Extremely happy and proud of what I watched last night. We'll take a break. When we get back, we'll get into the game. We'll get into Jared Goff, who notably you brought up. That and so much more coming up in just a bit. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Guardian Alarm.
Well, watching the Lions defense play last night, it inspired me to get Guardian Alarm. Because, guys, it's a new year. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, because their professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. They also have 24/7 professional monitoring. Call them anytime, day or night. Know that a Guardian Alarm team member will stay on the phone for as long as you need. They also have technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work in people who have been proven to care. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Aaron Rodgers, get out.
For more information.
Good luck.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You can get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com. As always, Ryan Romani, you sexy son of a gun. 9-8 finish for the Lions, and a strong finish to the NFL season for Ryan Romani, down 27 pounds since he started his plan with Dr. Jason and our good friends over at Custom Health Centers. We are back. We are live. And I am so very excited to be sharing this beautiful, beautiful Monday morning with all of you. Oh my God. Let's do it, Jeff. What a performance on the road. Everything to prove, but nothing really to gain in terms of playoff scenarios. And this team went out, a young team, Jeff. They went out and they overcame the penalties. This young team forced turnovers. This young core, and let's start with the defense, Jeff. Aidan Hutchinson, 2 sacks. Aleem McNeil on the interior had a very good game. Kirby Joseph, ball hawking safety. Wait. Ball hawking safety. How many interceptions does Kirby Joseph have this season? Huh? How many? 5? How many against Aaron Rodgers? 3? Oh, wait, I'm getting a call from New York. Wait, what? Kirby Joseph is the first player in NFL history to intercept Aaron Rodgers 3 times in a single season? Wait, what? Hello? Are you serious? All right. Okay, we just confirmed that it's true. Wait, one more thing coming in here. What is it? Oh, wait, Kyle Hamilton, number 2 overall? Not the right decision? They drafted Aidan Hutchinson? Oh, yep. Everybody who said that's a dumb motherfucker, you're absolutely correct. You motherfuckers actually wanted to draft a safety. And you got the best of both worlds. 3rd-round pick, Kirby Joseph. Phenomenal. Phenomenal season. And he'll only get better. Think about it this way. 4 rookies you have this year. You could argue finish in the top 6 or 7 of voting in Defensive Rookie of the Year. Aidan Hutchinson, James Houston, Malcolm Rodriguez, Kirby Joseph. If that isn't grade A Colombian shit, I don't know what is. I don't.
No.
I don't. What a defensive performance from a young team on the road. I loved it, Jeff. I loved every second of it.
Listen, we could give Brad Holmes all the praise because he deserves it this morning, but it's more than just rookies he's drafted. What about guys he's brought in that were cut from their previous teams, like an Isaiah Buggs or a John Kaminsky? These guys that don't get talked about enough made significant plays. They really did. Alex Anzalone, who gets a lot of flack, he played well. He had a huge 4th down stop that put the Lions in a short field situation. So there's a lot of unsung heroes on this team defensively. And we could talk about a lot of things, but the difference in the game last night was the turnovers. It really was. The fumble by Aaron Jones and then the really 2 interceptions by Aaron Rodgers. One of those were called back. that was the difference. I mean, statistically, both of these teams had a very similar game. I mean, you look at two things. The passing, number one, I mean, Jared, 219, the Packers, 188. You look at rushing, 103 to 104. The penalties were about even. Red zone, Packers were 1 for 2 in the red zone. Lions were 2 for 5. They left a lot of points out there, by the way. I mean, the Lions could have won this game even more decisively. You got that Jamison Williams touchdown, the Khalif Raymond, who, touchdown, should have been a touchdown, ended up being called back. They scored anyway. I mean, that's the fact that they're doing this with young players has been the most impressive thing. And I think that's what separates this current regime or this current team from previous teams. Terry brought this up on Big D. Yes, they've done this where they've went on runs late in the season, made the playoffs, but they never did it with young players. So that is a big part of it. And for Hutchinson to come out and have a game like that, in a moment like that, Sunday Night Football, prime time, you go out and get 2 sacks against Aaron Rodgers, pretty damn good, especially when James Houston kind of struggled a little bit. First time we've seen him do that since he started playing. It's enormous, to say the least, to see all these guys step up. So, again, it was encouraging. It gives you a lot of hope for the future. And moving forward, you give Brad Holmes more assets like he has this offseason, who knows what kind of players will be brought into the Detroit Lions.
Well, joining us live in the studio is Aidan Hutchinson. So, Aidan, I'll ask you this. Aidan, what do you think of your rookie campaign so far this season? Well, Adham, it's a fucking great season. I'm glad the Lions didn't draft Malik Willis, and I'm glad they didn't draft Kyle Hamilton, and they drafted me, because it was absolutely the correct motherfucking decision. Let me tell you guys. Aidan Hutchinson, Kirby Joseph, Malcolm Rodriguez, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Benny Sewell, James Houston. Jeff, you get a break. Here you go, buddy. Everybody gets a break. Because you know what? This GM was the reason for confidence going into year 2. Because year 1, he didn't have much to work with. And he went out and he did exactly, I know we all made a joke of this, drafting the cocaine. But that was, my goodness, that couldn't have been more true. He went out and overhauled your franchise. That was, may I remind you, left in shambles by one of the worst head coaches in NFL history, Matt Patricia, along with the GM who royally fucked you by drafting Jeff Okudah number 3 overall and fucking up basically every draft along with fucking your salary cap. That's the situation Brad Holmes took over, along with Dan Campbell. And you know what Brad's done? He's continued to stockpile bricks of cocaine. I know you guys think it's a joke. It is not. It is real. That shit is absolutely real. This GM is legit. He knows what the hell he's doing. Mm-hmm. And for the first time in my life, I can actually have that conversation, Jeff.
Well, he's doing it with players that were taken not even in the first, second round. I mean, those players are making plays, but it's later. I mean, Malcolm Rodriguez, James Houston, Amon-Ra St. Brown, these guys are past the 3rd round. And if you want to go with 3rd round, Kirby Joseph, there you go, another one. So Brad Holmes, that's been the hardest thing for the Lions in the past, right? You come off these good seasons, you feel like you're excited for the future, and then the general manager, you go out and have a terrible draft. This is what I don't worry about with this current regime, because you can build on this, and everybody has confidence they can build on this, because you have Brad Holmes making the selections and going out in free agency and finding players, and the fact that Brad and Dan are in such lockstep that you're going to find, like Jamal Williams said on the broadcast, we're dogs. We're dogs. Stop playing with them. Stop playing with the Detroit Lions. They got dogs, and they're going to continue to add more dogs, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Wow, Adam's talking to Kirby right now. You got Kirby on the phone?
Yeah, Kirby just told me that Aaron Rodgers is his bitch.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, my God. Is there anything better? Let me be honest with all of you. Huh? Is there anything better than having a team that you believe in? You know, you've always had this feeling about Steve Eisman. You knew because he delivered it before. But when it comes to this football team, my goodness, there are people double my age that have been waiting their entire lifetime for something to hold on to. And maybe I'm young. Maybe I'm naive. But even in the 90s, I don't recall a single documentary, my father ever telling me, nobody near or close to me, ever telling me it was like this. Even the years with Barry where they were good one year and bad the other, and good one and then bad the other. Well, why weren't they ever consistently good? It was because they were never in lockstep as an organization. And now, yes, you look at Sheila, Spielman, Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell. Damn, that actually looks pretty good at the moment. And you are talking about a GM who has built one of the 4 best rosters, in my opinion, in the NFC. And I'm loading him up with 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, a third-round pick. Oh, not to mention that if you're a good GM, maybe in a 3, 4, 5-year window, Jeff, you maybe nail 1 or 2 4th, 5th, 6th round picks. Maybe. Right. If you're an excellent one. If you are a prideful, very consistent, good organization. Maybe. This motherfucker has landed 4, dare I say 5, in 2 years. And I'm not including the first round picks. This team is going to be a problem for years to come, man. This is unbelievable. I am so happy this morning. I really am. I'm so happy because this is what makes all of this fun. This is why you wake up early in the morning. This is why you pay your ticket to go to Ford Field. This is why you travel to watch your football team. It's not because they need to win the Super Bowl next year. Put out a good product. Show me you can compete for the division. Show me you can win your division. People forget before Patrick Mahomes, it was 4 years of Alex Smith, Kansas City Chiefs, learning how to win, getting a division title, then getting the second one, and then winning a playoff game, but then losing, disappointment. And then it was getting Patrick, sitting him for a year, and then they took off. Doesn't all happen right away. It doesn't. Now, can you win your division right away? Can you make the playoffs right away? Yes. But what you're building now in Detroit is going to be a problem. And you know what? For the next 3, 4 years, you want to talk to me about rosters in the NFC? I don't think there's one I'm more fearful of outside of the Lions other than maybe Philadelphia and San Francisco. Yeah. That's the conversation you're in this morning.
Because if we're talking about value, you can make an argument for the Detroit Lions. I mean, look at some of their most significant players. Kirby Joseph, his salary, an average through his contract, $1 million. You look at Amon-Ra St. Brown, $1 million. Malcolm Rodriguez, $900,000. Like this, Derek Barnes, $1 million. Jonah Jackson, $1 million. Aleem McNeil, $1 million. These guys are getting paid minimal to go out and produce like legitimate starters. And that's what makes Brad Holmes so valuable, is if you're finding guys in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, you're going to pay them dirt cheap money to go out and produce like a second, a late first-round pick, whatever the case may be. And the fact that they have so much young talent moving forward, these guys are going to continue to get better. There's a lot to be excited about, man. A lot. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh, indeed. That is, fuck yes. I don't even know what to say. Huh? I really am debating of just doing a line of cocaine off this microphone right now. I feel excellent. Let's take a break. When we get back, Aaron Glenn, the defense, we've touched on it. Aidan Hutchinson last night. Did he do enough to win Defensive Rookie of the Year? I'm going to go out and say yes. I think performances matter in key games. Sauce Gardner, for all the respect and credit I give him, I think he took a back seat last night. Let's have that conversation. Aidan Hutchinson, Kirby Joseph, this young defensive unit, unbelievable.
Yep.
That's coming up in just a minute, but before we do, Jeff, our good friends over at Big Boy.
Well, wintertime is in Detroit is always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. You can try the classic meatloaf or Cajun chicken Alfredo, but how about breakfast as well? They got the stuffed potato pancakes, lumberjack, Santa Fe Garden, or Blockbuster. Stop by your local Big Boy today.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Chili Pepper Sanding is where you'll find all the cleanest salons in the D with spotless sanitized rooms and trained and certified tanning professionals. You can join the Pepper Club for all the best deals. They'll beat all competitors by $5. ChiliPepperSanding.com. Hottest bulbs, hottest deals, darkest tans. Your Vitamin D headquarters, 27 locations and more on the way.
Chili peppers, Dan?
All right, we are back here on the Morning Woodward Show, live, woodwardsports.com. Adham, Beydoun, Jeff, Iafrate, Fish. Good morning, buddy. Checking in. How you doing?
Well, good morning. I don't have a camera, but good morning.
You're a dumbass. Moving on.
I don't think I have
Moving on. Just
here.
mute your mic. Nope. We're not doing this.
I just asked you
Just
what to
shut
do,
the hell
and you
up.
told
Just
me
shut
yes.
the hell up.
I'm trying to have a good day.
Jesus Christ.
Lions won.
See what I deal with?
My basketball team won on Saturday.
You guys asked me why I want to kill him? This is why. Let's talk some Aidan Hutchinson. Going into the year, I told you guys 5 of the last 6 edge rushers and pass rushers in general selected number 2 overall had won Defensive Rookie of the Year. To me, that was the lock. Sauce Gardner had suddenly turned into not only a shutdown corner, but one of the league's 3, 4, 5 best corners. And I think he is that, and rightfully so. But the award also can't just be about, hey, you are one of the best at your position, right? Because the MVP this season, what? Who are you going to give it to? Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes?
No question.
Right? But Josh Allen is one of the best at his position. And you could argue that Justin Jefferson should be in the conversation. Whoever you want to put, right? But 9.5 sacks, 3 interceptions. The stats speak for themselves with Aidan Hutchinson. And the stretch he's had over the last 6, 7, 8 games, to me, has not only caught himself up to Sauce Gardner, I think he passed him last night. I do. I think the kid deserves the Defensive Rookie of the Year award. He's earned it through his play, his leadership. He is the leader of that defense. Now, it may not be vocally, but that defense goes through Aidan Hutchinson, and that's why you took him number 2 overall. And he has delivered everything and more. And may I remind all of you, this is something that'll get lost because, again, I understand that Aidan Hutchinson, Sauce Gardner is a very, very, very good corner. I would love to have him on this team. I think he's phenomenal. I think he's had a phenomenal season. Having said that, if we're all honest here, I want you to put side by side Aidan Hutchinson and his stats compared to notable defensive edge rushers across the league. J.J. Watt's rookie year, 5.5 sacks. Myles Garrett's his rookie season, 7 sacks. Aaron Donald, 9. Nick Bosa, 9. Chase Young, 7.5. T.J. Watt, 7.
How many interceptions do those guys have?
That's not the point.
I'm just saying, too.
How many sacks did Aidan have? More than every single one of them on that list.
And 3 picks.
The kid is special. And look, I know in this town we have a little conflict of interest here. You have Michigan State fans, who both, of course, typically are Lions fans. Shut the fuck up. All of you. I don't care if you're from State or in Ann Arbor. The kid's play has spoken for itself. He's been exceptional. And he's what we call pure grade Colombian cocaine. That is exactly what you wanted in this past draft. You knew you were weak on the front 4. You knew you needed edge rushers. And Brad Holmes Witten got you arguably the best one out of the entire class. Mm-hmm. Oh, not to mention, there's a freak on the opposite side that you took in the 6th round who has 8 sacks this year. What the actual hell's going on? 20.5 sacks by the Detroit Lions rookies this season. Most ever in NFL history. I'll say it again, maybe a little slower for you to comprehend. 20.5 sacks this season by Detroit Lions rookie defensive players. The most ever total by a team with their rookies in a single season in NFL history, Jeff. Unbelievable.
No, it really is. And what Aidan's doing is historic, not just for the Lions, but really in NFL history. I mean, he's the first, I believe, edge rusher to have 9.5 sacks and 3 picks. It just doesn't happen. I mean, you talk about his athleticism coming out. He's dropping into coverage. He's making plays. You saw the progression all season from Aidan Hutchinson. A lot of that has to do with the emergence also of James Houston. Like, just to have another a partner in crime on the other side of that defensive line to help him out and get some pressure. Because before, all he had was John Cominsky. I know we missed him a lot when he was out, but now you have James Houston, you have Josh Pascal, Liam McNeil still. Like, these guys are all making plays. Everybody gets better when you got 2 edge rushers like that on each end, James Houston and Aidan Hutchinson. So, very excited for the future. I think the thing I take away from it is if we're talking about Defensive Rookie of the Year, what Aidan did last night, to me right now it's a coin flip. I don't really care where it goes. If it goes to Sauce, I'm not going to be upset about it. I mean, what Sauce did, by the way, to Tyreek Hill against the Dolphins, I know nobody was watching that game because it was garbage, but still, he held Tyreek to 2 catches for 20 yards, and I think he had like 5 or 6 targets. Sauce, and he was frustrating him so bad. If you watch the clips on social media, he was in Tyreek's head. Like, what Sauce doesn't always pop up on the stat sheet. I want people to understand that, because I think people look at the 2 interceptions and say, oh, he's not that good. Go watch some Jets games. Sauce is that good. He's one of the better corners in the NFL already. But Aidan Hutchinson has done enough this season to be in that conversation. And he very well could win the award. I think it really comes down to a couple things. I think you look at Aidan, how each have finished the season. Aidan has 3.5 sacks in his last 5 games. He's finished strong. Big game on Sunday night in prime time. I wonder how that kind of shifts the momentum his way. But regardless, I don't even care about the award. It's more than that for me. It's really the core they have. Even if he doesn't win the award, it doesn't make me any less excited for the future with these guys, man.
What do you think of the Lions secondary last night?
I think they stepped up. They battled. I know there was the catch that Monty Iafrate kind of gave up. Christian Watson, it was right in the bucket. But besides that, I mean, for a secondary that didn't have Jeff Okudah, he was out because of an elbow injury. I thought they stepped up. I got to give that secondary some credit last night. I didn't think they played that terribly.
Oh, my goodness. It's a great Monday morning. Fish, these are the Mondays I live for. These are the Mondays I live for. I get to get blazed out, smoke my lungs out. I'm a bit under the weather. I wasn't even supposed to do the show today, I'm not going to lie. Drugged myself up this morning. And I don't give a fuck about the impact this has on my lungs. I don't. I don't give one fuck.
Can we talk about, too, and I know that the Jaguars will never admit this, but they got to be sitting there like, son of a bitch.
You know what?
Because I like Trayvon.
As much as I want to agree,
but come on.
He's looked really good down the stretch. He really has.
We'll see.
I agree with you. If I was Trembalke, I would have gone Aidan.
You'd be like, son of a bitch.
Having said that, Jacksonville Jaguars, division winners.
They are. You called it.
So,
yeah,
you got to say that. Oh, by the way, Fish, I have a special message for you. Could you please step into your booth?
What's the special message?
You don't need it. You don't need it. This is a very special message that I crafted up. I actually wrote a poem for you.
Okay.
Okay? I actually wrote a poem for you. Let me pull it up. All right, Fish.
Oh, boy.
The Chicago Bears won their first 2 out of their 3 games of the season. Samuel Fisher gave Adham shit and said that he was a dumbass.
And you still are.
And the Chicago Bears finished with less than 3 wins, or less than 4 wins, like Adham told him. And they finished with the worst record in football.
Yep.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Fuck the Chicago Bears, and fuck you too.
I also have a tweet of you saying they were going 0-17, and
Doesn't matter.
They didn't go 0-17.
Doesn't matter. I told you they'd finish with the worst record.
They were close.
Yeah, and they did, but they didn't go 0-17.
Fish. That just shut
they
the
didn't
hell
go 0-17.
Just suck up my dick, Fish. That's all you got to do right now.
Okay, we'll not be doing that.
That's all you got to do. Just got to suck on my dick.
Don't
swallow
do
it. and accept it.
No, don't do that.
That's all you got to do,
Hey, he was
buddy.
technically 3 wins off, all right? They were 3-14.
Yeah, but there's a difference between 0 and 3 wins.
That's
just saying.
They're garbage,
I
regardless.
have proof of you saying 0 and 17.
And I have proof
so.
that I said they'd have the worst record in the NFL.
Yeah, they did. So we're 1-1.
The Bears didn't win a single divisional game. They were 0-6
Nope.
this season. Man, the Bears got a...
I mean, think about this.
And they
guys.
somehow got the
situation.
number 1 pick.
Like, jokes aside, Fish.
Because the
Think
Texans
about
suck
this.
balls.
Think about this.
And won.
Right? Last year,
Thinking.
can we all acknowledge, was year 1 of a rebuild? It was obvious.
Yes.
Took over Bob Quinn, took over Matt Patricia, it was toxic, yada, 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 right? The Bears have had Fields now for 2 years. And they don't even know what they're going to do with that number 1 overall pick. It's easy to say now, oh, Will Anderson! Oh, well, Will Anderson! Really? You hired a defensive coach who has turned his quarterback into a running back. That's not sustainable. Your future, think about this, Lions fans. You have the best future among any of the teams in the NFC North. We'll get to that at 9 o'clock. But we brought up the Bears, so I wanted to bring it up real quick. Look at where the Bears are at. It's been 2 years now that they're in a, quote, rebuild. And they have no direction. They wasted a second-round pick on Chase Claypool.
That would have been like the 32nd pick.
The 33rd.
Yeah.
Oh, 32nd. Right.
Or could it be 31st because the
first.
Dolphins don't have a pick this year.
I think it's 32nd. You're correct. Yeah.
Regardless, that ain't
But
good.
beyond the point. That's what that is how scary the NFL can be sometimes.
Yeah.
And you know what? It did look scary when you were 1-6. It did look like there was no direction. Now, did you believe in the talent? Did you believe in the GM? Absolutely. But the coach finally was able to take all the pieces, put it together, and go on this incredible run. 8-2 down the stretch. And I can't believe it. I can't.
No.
I got to give him credit. He proved a lot of people wrong. Now, is he wildly successful? Is he the best thing ever? We don't know that yet. But I know he's not a bum. I know he's not going to be a Matt Patricia. I know he's not going to be a Hugh Jackson. That he's proved me wrong on.
Right.
And I think he's earned that much, I would say that amount of respect at least, given what he's been able to pull off this season. So, credit to him, credit to his coaching staff. Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson, we talked about them in the offseason. The Lions probably having the 2 best offensive and defensive coordinators within their own division. Right? It was really looking promising. And you saw it over the last 10 games. It was clicking. And Aaron Glenn, man, his celebrations on the sidelines are hilarious. He had a lot to prove. He had to fire his boy.
Yeah.
He had to get rid of somebody he really cared about. And they haven't looked back since.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that AG had to sit up at that podium after some of the performances this year
and take it,
and they rebounded from it,
and rightfully so, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I want to say this too. I know fans already kind of know this, but I know the Seahawks, they made the playoffs. Obviously, if you force one punt early in the year, or Jared Goff doesn't throw a pick six, however you want to look at it, they beat the Seahawks. They're in. If they're in and they're facing the 49ers, to me, that would be a better game than the Seahawks facing the 49ers. I think the Lions and how they're playing right now, 8-2 down the stretch.
Eric Allen just verified what you said, by the way. The Bears essentially traded the 32nd overall pick for Chase Claypool.
Gosh.
Boy, that's going to hurt them.
Oh.
And this is what you guys get.
Man.
I told you, when you hired Ryan Pace and he went and got Eberflus, it was a mistake.
Yeah.
You're going to pay for it for the next 2 to 3 years. So enjoy being last in the North for the next 3 seasons, you fucks. Moving on. We'll take a break. When we get back, what did we learn about Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions? 1-6, 8-2, 9-8 overall. What did we learn about the Detroit Lions this season? Dan Campbell said before the season started, this will be a team that can and will. Hindsight is looking very, very, very correct. Let's have that conversation in a bit. But before we do, Jeff, our good friends over at Swiss Insurance.
Well, be sure to check with Swiss Insurance this week for your commercial insurance review. Many businesses choose a 1/1 effective date, but Swiss Insurance can help you make sure you have the proper coverage. Swiss Insurance, give them a shot and you won't be disappointed. Email Swiss at mark@swissins.com.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Let me tell you about my good friends over at Bedrock Detroit. Downtown Detroit is all decked out this holiday season with the return of the Cadillac Lodge and the Monroe Street Midway indoor arcades, bumper cars, giant slides, you name it, they got it. Plus, you can grab some food and drinks after or before you play all the games. Shop, eat, and play downtown all winter long with our good friends over at Bedrock Detroit. We are back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com, 8:46, a beautiful Monday morning. Less than 12 hours after the Detroit Lions absolutely fucked the Green Bay Packers, and I'm here for it, Jeff.
And can I talk about one thing, too? And I know we've talked about it multiple times, but Dan Campbell, the progression he's had so far as a head coach, like, I don't think that gets... We've mentioned it a couple times. Yes, players can develop, but also coaches need to develop in times like this. And Dan Campbell, to me, early in the year, you're 1-6. You're questioning decisions he's making, partly because he didn't have a defense, he didn't have a kicker, and you had a quarterback who was turning the ball over a lot. But now, at this point where the team is, you're 8-2 down the stretch, Dan Campbell's decision-making, and I want to highlight one specific decision last night. If you were watching the game, late in the fourth quarter, 2 minutes and 35 seconds left, it's 2nd and 1 on the Green Bay 25. Wyatt, neutral zone infraction. Dan Campbell declines the penalty for it to remain 2nd and 1. And that's when he runs the ball. You get the first down. It allows Green Bay, they use their timeout. It's almost like you get an extra possession in a way.
It's a game of chess.
Yes, and the fact that and even the broadcasters were sitting there, Tirico and Collinsworth were like, you know what? It's a pretty smart decision. And I don't think that's an underrated. For a guy who was labeled as a meathead when he was first brought here doing all the antics, and people saying, is this guy really a head coach? You're damn straight he is. And the fact that he made that decision, I mean, I don't think that gets... Because people are quick to criticize him when he makes wrong decisions, and rightfully so, especially when it costs the Lions. But when he does things like that, small things like time management, not choosing when to punt, which he did a lot last night, and not being stupid and going for it. When he did go for it, you felt like it was the right decision. So I got to give credit, man. Dan Campbell last night, that decision to decline that penalty got him another play. It was fantastic.
Here's what I want to do, Jeff. I want to talk to all of you about what we've learned about Dan Campbell and, of course, this Detroit Lions team. And why that matters this morning is it was a rocky start, and there was only one thing he could do to instill confidence going into year 3. And that was to win at the time when they were 1-6. The only way he could instill confidence, in my opinion, would have to been finish with a 5-5 or 6-4 record. Had he done that, I think you could have really at least latched on to the idea of, hey, you know what? Bad start, new year, here we go again. But he one-upped it. It wasn't 5-5 down the stretch. It wasn't 6-4. It was actually 8-2. And after that 1-6 start, right after that Dallas game, I sat up here and I told you, Jeff, he's coaching for his job. Like, there's no more, oh, we got to be patient, give him till next year. No, you got to figure this out now. You got to show improvement now. And what we learned was he not only took what he was dealt and ran with it, you actually saw his formula really come through down the stretch. And I would say the last 5-6 games of the year, it was more true than ever.
Right.
It was 60-minute football. It was overcoming mistakes. It was not being afraid of the moment. A lot of things we've associated with Dan now. And you don't usually associate that with the Detroit Lions. That holding call in the fourth quarter, before that hook and ladder, That kills the Detroit Lions any other season.
Yeah, it was like 2nd and 17, I believe
Yep.
it was.
And then they ran the quick screen to St. Brown, tossed it to Swift, and he got almost all the yards back. And some. And it set up a 4th and 2. That won you the game. Usually, you don't convert. Usually, you settle. And under this guy, and again, nothing to play for last night. And when I mean nothing to play for, I mean nothing to lose, right? But next season, you are going to see a team and a coach, I believe, that are going to give teams hell. Now, you look ahead to next year, that's maybe for another time. Yeah, you could look at the road schedule. Yeah, you could look at the home schedule. I'm starting to die now, by the way.
I can fill in.
No. But
I'm known to be a good fill-in. I know sports. I watched the whole football game yesterday. I watched the Seahawks-Rams game yesterday. Could have watched other stuff, but nope. Chose to watch NFL, last round of the season.
No darts?
There was no darts on yesterday.
No darts.
No. It's coming back in February, though. I could have watched tennis. I could have watched soccer. But they were both blowouts. Chose American football. Bills game was pretty cool. Bengals-Ravens was a good game. Eagles are probably going to make a Super Bowl. They look good. Cowboys suck balls as always. How do you not? Make it very far and they choke.
Get your ass up there, Fish. Sit on the desk. He deserves it. You watch football all day.
Fish,
put darts aside, Adam. Let him get up there.
Now I know the Commanders or the Cowboys. It's they didn't really care because they already made the playoffs. So we'll see once the playoffs begin this weekend. But it's a good win for the Commanders. Texans, by the way, they blew it. Funnily enough, they decided to go for 2 against the Colts.
Speaking of which, they fired Lovie Smith, by the way. And I'm going to tell you guys from now, you can make it about black, white, I don't care. All I know is Houston right now is a joke franchise.
Yeah, they're
It's a fucking shit show. That's 2 consecutive years. David Culley, now Lovie Smith, 1-year rental coaches. Hey, we want to suck. We're just going to hire you for a year, and let's get top draft picks. You fucking idiots.
Yeah.
That's not how you rebuild.
They haven't got them
Their
anywhere.
GM that came from the New England tree, you should probably get rid of him now.
Yeah.
While you still can. You have the number 2 overall pick. Do yourselves a favor and fucking clean house and bring in adults in the room. Bring in a qualified GM and go bring a veteran coach who can build something for you.
That you won't fire.
What a joke.
He literally tried to win a game, won it, and was fired.
Well, look, I'm not going to lie. That was a stupid fucking decision.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. You fucking lose that game.
But at the end of the day, that's
no.
That's Lovie Smith's
That was a
record.
stupid fucking decision.
I don't care.
It didn't help his
You
job.
don't care because you're not a Houston Texan fan, and you're the one not sitting up here and saying, "Oh, Bryce Young is the future." No, the fuck he isn't anymore.
Lovie Smith, that record gets assigned to his name. So why would
Like
I lose a
give
game for a
fuck.
franchise? That's gonna
What
boot me?
I care. The season is over, Jeff.
I don't
You
care.
have an opportunity to land the number 1 overall pick. I don't care who you are, Lovie Smith, Sean McVay. Fuck you, whoever you are. If I'm a Texan fan this morning, fuck you, Lovie Smith. Fuck you, my ownership. Fuck you, my GM. Because clearly none of you are on the same page. That should have never happened. Having said that, Lovie Smith, again, it's a raw deal. Bullshit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Lovie. I mean, you're gonna get fired either way. I'm not gonna.
Let's win a
lose another
meaningless game. So we slide from pick number 1 to pick number 2. Makes sense.
Well, they fired him, so obviously it didn't matter anyway. I mean, if I'm Lovie, I'm getting that extra win on my record. I don't care about your organization, and
What a
clearly they
joke.
don't care either. That's why they fired him.
What a
I mean,
joke.
Lovie doesn't owe the Texans anything, so Texans clearly don't care. They fired him. It is what it is. If I'm a head coach looking for a job, why in the hell would I go to Houston?
Told you that about Houston when we were talking
Hell
about Ben
no.
Johnson. You look at the coaching landscape. The jobs that are available aren't that attractive. Carolina? Denver? Now Houston?
What's the most attractive job?
So why I don't need to have a conversation about Ben Johnson leaving. He's not. And they fired him for winning. Maybe they did. I don't know. To be honest with you, I told you before the season he was a 1-year rental.
What's up, Mike?
The Lions won the last game of the season last year, and they were 2-13.
Well, fired in? No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, so I mean, you play to win the game. Obviously, you want to lose that game, but
were they drafting a quarterback with that number 1 overall pick?
Who knows what they're going to do?
I'm asking. Last year,
yeah.
Was there a quarterback class coming out where you were like,
It doesn't
if
matter,
you get the
but-
number 1 overall pick, you get your choice of Stroud, Young,
I get it.
Levis, whoever you want, even if you don't believe in them. I don't care. That's
They
not the
could be
point.
thinking that game doesn't even matter, and they're going to get their guy no matter what at 2. So, like, you play to win the game.
You don't know that now.
And
You don't know that now because now a team can trade up and fuck you.
Like,
But
imagine
I
Lovie
find it
Smith.
hard to
Imagine
believe
Lovie
you're going to get a whole locker room of grown-ass men to throw a game at the last game of the season. I don't give a shit if you play for the Houston Texans that are terrible. You're not going to do that.
Imagine
it's
Lovie
not
Smith
gonna
going in
happen.
there, guys. We're losing this game. Like,
There's no fucking way.
no way. Yeah, I mean, there's no way. I don't know.
I
guess in
the
Madden
GM
or in
said
fantasy
that.
football, you're thinking, okay, well, we want to get the number 1 overall pick, but
Well, you know what? I think
Fans-
it's karma for the Texans. You know why?
Yeah.
Because they knew before
Absolutely.
the season started that they were going to hire Lovie Smith on a 1-year rental. Everybody knew it. It was a 1-year job. He left Illinois. He was only going to be there for a year, just like they did it to David Culley. They were going to do it to Lovie Smith no matter what he did.
Right.
So that's just karma. But if you guys don't agree that was a stupid fucking win, I can't help you.
yeah, I guess you can't.
We can even bring it to the Lions. Jeff,
shut the fuck
if that happened to the Lions,
Yeah.
would you be angry?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, so you wouldn't care if they just threw away the number 1 pick.
No, not really.
Adam?
Because I'd rather
The Lions were in the position that the Texans
Yeah.
were, I'd be fucking heated, yes.
Mr.
We
Michael
had
Gentry?
a shit GM and a shit owner and a shit head coach, all who don't know what the hell they're doing, and then you gave that, and you go and put out that performance, and you cost yourself the opportunity to make any decision you want, yeah, I'm going to be pissed. No, they may still get the guy they want. Who knows? You're right. You're correct. But at the end of the day, that was a stupid fucking win.
Yeah.
I got to light my hookah. Give me a second.
No, but to answer your question, Fish, I think I just want to know if my head coach can coach. Like, I can you coach or not? And if he wins a game, then
We're talking about Lovie Smith like he's some fucking young up-and-coming coach. Dude, he's been in the NFL 12 seasons. He has had 4 winning records. He was kicked out of the NFL, went to Illinois, only took the job because it was the only job he knew he could get. They were going to fire him after 1 year. Like, come on, let's cut the shit.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. Let's take a break. I got to light my hookah. When we get back, top of the hour, I'm going to continue to smoke my fucking lungs out.
How do you not?
And we are going to talk about the future of the NFC North and why the Detroit Lions, for the next 3, 4, 5 seasons, have it real good. Quarterback situation, roster,
Yeah.
head coach, GM, salary cap situations. We're going to get into all of it. And I'm going to make the case, and Jeff, I think you're going to make the same case as me. This team is going to be a contender in the North for years to come. Wouldn't surprise me if they win 2 of the next 3, 3 of the next 5. That's how much talent they have. That's the direction they're going in. Let's have that conversation in a second. But before we do, I got to tell you about where I'm going after the show today. And that's
Heck
the
yeah,
Planet
you
Fitness to get my workout on. New year, new me. Is that what these idiots say nowadays?
Yeah?
Well, here you go. This is where you can get it started. $10 a month. Planet Fitness. Your fitness is essential. Sign up by visiting one of their many locations or by visiting planetfitness.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
All right, guys. Winter bumper cars, putt putt, indoor arcade, hot foods and drinks. Don't take Fish because Fish doesn't deserve to go. Check out the Monroe Street Midway. We are back here on the Morning Woodward Show live at woodwardsports.com as always.
Can we go there? We only have a few more weeks left.
Fish, shut the hell up.
You said you were going to take me a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and the Texans said they were going to keep Lovie Smith. How'd that work out? All right, moving
Can we
on.
go with the morning show? If you don't want to take me, can you at least take Jeff?
No. Shut the hell up. Mute your mic.
Because that
Moving
might be
on.
okay.
Shut the hell up.
Alrighty.
Sorry, Fish. You tried.
Here's what we're going to do. NFC North. I'm going to walk through the teams.
Yep.
You guys tell me confidence level. Contending for the North on a scale of 1 to 10. Give me a meter, 1 through 10. Give me a number, Jeff. The Chicago Bears.
0.
He said 1 to 10, but I like 0 better.
It's okay. It's a great answer, Jeff. The Green Bay Packers next year competing for the North.
Probably like a 4, 5.
See, I think you're giving too much credit. I'm going to give them a 2. Aaron Rodgers retires. They go into cap hell. There'll be negative $50, $60 million in the cap. The Packers aren't going anywhere. I don't even care if Jordan Love can play. It's not going to happen. The Minnesota Vikings.
I would say probably like a 7, 8.
Thank you. That's fair. Thank you.
Like they're
Thank
going
you
to
for
be
acknowledging
in that conversation, but I don't think they'll be.
I think they'll be in the conversation, but I think the favorite next year, 9 out of 10 is the rating I'm giving them. It's this Detroit Lions team.
Agreed.
Who's got the best quarterback going into next year's season if Aaron Rodgers? Hell, forget if Aaron Rodgers retires. Let's say Aaron Rodgers returns. You rank the NFC North quarterbacks going into the season. Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers leaves. Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, maybe Jordan Love. Probably not. It's going to be Justin Fields and then Jordan Love. You have the best quarterback in your division.
Yeah, and you look at the situation he has, the quarterback has.
He's got the best situation around him.
Best offensive
the
line.
best offensive line.
Yeah.
Growing weapons. You saw what over a deep crossing route. What Jameson Williams could do. I know it's called back on a holding, but that is what this kid can do and provide to this offense. You've got the best offense in the NFC North going into next season. You have the youngest, but most optimistically, if you want to look at it, the best upcoming defense in the NFC North. You've got everything better than every team in the division. You're damn right you're competing for the North next year, and not only for the North next year. We talked about this for weeks now. Teams not going anywhere, Jeff, are they?
No.
Last I checked, they're all very young, under contract.
Yes, they are.
This team is going to be a problem in the North for years to come.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. And I mentioned it earlier, the salaries you're paying these guys. I mean, like I said before, Kirby Joseph, Amon-Ra St. Brown, James Mitchell, Malcolm Rodriguez. You can even go on and on. Aleem McNeil. These guys are all making $1 million, and they're signed until at the earliest 2025. Like, think about that. These guys, you're going to be paying them dirt cheap to play high-level football for you for the next couple of years. And that's not including the assets Brad Holmes hasn't gotten yet, which is your 6th overall pick, your 18th overall pick, and both of your second-round picks. And who knows what he can do late in the draft. So this team is still, as funny and optimistic as we can be about the Detroit Lions moving forward, they're still not even close to being finished. They're still an unfinished product. They still have holes they got to fill, and they're going to fill those holes. So the Lions, as optimistic as you can be right now, think about where this roster will be next season when James Houston, Aidan Hutchinson, Kirby Joseph, Malcolm, all these young players have another year under their belt. The game slows down even more for these guys. Ben Johnson, Jared Goff have another year, more and more of a chemistry, a rapport with each other. These guys are going to continue to grow. So again, I know momentum doesn't carry over, but relationships do. In the chemistry they form do. Jameson Williams, for example, you'll see him next year. You'll see the Jared Goff and Jameson Williams connection form next year. I know he dropped the pass in the game against the Packers. He also had that deep crosser, which was a touchdown that was called back. There's so much untapped potential with Jameson Williams. This entire team next year, to me, should be the favorite. Maybe Minnesota slightly because they've won it this year, but no.
You give them their respect.
But the Lions are going to be in that conversation.
But I don't think they're 13-4 good.
No,
you don't
not.
go 10-0 in one possession games.
Yes.
It just doesn't happen. Having said that, let's talk about Jared Goff for a second and what he means to all of this. Jared Goff is the 10th highest paid quarterback in the NFL. 10th.
And
I would say at $30 million, he's giving you anywhere from $13 to $17 million of additional
production.
Value in terms of production.
Yes.
So we all agree on this. Jared Goff this season as a passer, statistically, has been better than 8 of the 9 highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL, Jeff. Do you know who they are? Take a swing. He's been better than Josh Allen.
Yeah.
He's been better than Dak Prescott. He's been better than Russell Wilson. He's been better than Matthew Stafford. He's been better than Kyler Murray. He's been better than Aaron Rodgers.
Lamar's about to get
He's
paid.
been better than Lamar Jackson. He's going to get paid, but he's not in that conversation. Jared Goff has been better. Did I say Dak Prescott? I believe I did.
Yes.
He's been better. How can I forget? The one and only. My favorite quarterback among the bunch. We should shell out the franchise fortune for him. This is to me where shit gets really good. Because you are talking about players like Derek Carr. Right? So I'll read you the list. Derek Carr, Matthew Stafford, Deshaun Watson, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson. He's better than all of those quarterbacks statistically this season. And you're paying him a fraction of what you're paying them. Mm-hmm. The only quarterback in the top 10 in terms of what you're paying him that has had a better season statistically is Patrick Mahomes. Now, if I would have told you that before the year, you would have laughed at me and said, yeah, kick rocks. That's what Jared Goff has done this year. Those are just the stats. That's not an opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
those are just the facts. The facts are statistically as a passer, he's been better. And Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson, Matthew Stafford, Derek Carr, Josh Allen, Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray, and Aaron Rodgers. And no, that doesn't mean he's better than them. No, that doesn't mean he's better than Josh Allen. No, guys, we're not stupid. But put into context what you're paying him to what he's given you. And last I checked, there was one quarterback who made all the mistakes and one quarterback who made the throws when he had to, and that was Jared Goff. And that's why his team won. Because on 4th and 2, they didn't rely on the offensive line. They went empty set. Jared Goff, ball's in your hand, win us this game. Aaron Rodgers had multiple chances to give his team the lead. And he botched it multiple times. Mm-hmm. Jared Goff's not a problem to me right now. Not at all.
He's. I mean, look at the season. And I've mentioned this before too. I mean, he's 28 years old, and people think he's a finished product, and that's kind of the problem I have now. Moving forward, I've always said this, and I'm going to stay consistent. If Brad Holmes can find somebody that's better than Jared Goff, I'm all ears. But until then, right now, he's your best. He's the quarterback you got. And look at the year he's having, which, if you compare historically to him in his career, he has this season. We're talking about strictly this season. He has the second best quarterback rating of his career. He has the third best passer rating of his career. He's taken the second least amount of sacks, which has something to do with it as well. He has 7 interceptions, tied for the lowest in his career. He has 29 passing touchdowns, second in his career. His first, he had a season where he had 32 touchdowns in 2018. He threw 29, the second most of his career. Yards, he has 4,400. That's third in his career. Completion percentage, 65%. That's third of his career. So he's having a season which the Rams wanted at the time he was traded. He's playing some of his best football. He's learned. He's grown as a player. Now, we'll see what happens next season. Obviously, I think every season's its own individual season, so you expect him to play well next year. But with the pieces they have around him in the run game, the situations they're putting Jared in, he's the most comfortable. And a lot of credit of that goes to Ben Johnson, right? The guys, the personnel they have, the schemes they run, allowing Jared to put his input into the playbook. I was complaining last night because late in the third quarter, it was actually early in the third quarter, the Lions had 9 total rushes. 9. And I'm sitting there going, well, you can't put the ball in Jared Goff's hands this much. I mean, you got to be able to run the football. They finished the game with over 20 runs from the start of the third to the end of the fourth. So they shifted. They were able to adjust their game plan. And Jared Goff down that stretch, he continued to take care of the football, and the Lions, they looked damn good down the stretch. So, again, you could say whatever you want about Jared Goff, but he is the last of your worries right now. This allows the Lions to build a team around him, or continue to build a team. They have a lot of talent right now. But, Adam, if you look at a lot of teams in situations like the Lions were last year, the first thing you usually bring up is you need a quarterback. We got to draft a quarterback. Well, the Lions had that at least figured out.
We have
for the
entire offseason. And I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that you won't entertain the idea of taking a quarterback at 6. We have all offseason to do this. And it still fits the timeline to do it this year or next year. Having said that, again, can I win a division title with Jared Goff?
Yes.
Can I win a playoff game with Jared Goff?
Yes.
Can I accomplish certain milestones that this franchise hasn't had in 2-3 dozen years? Yes. So what's the problem? Again, I'm not telling you Jared Goff is your franchise quarterback, but he's played at a Pro Bowl level this year. And I know the splits at home, on the road. I get it. But last night was a clear indication you can win with him on the road in meaningful games. He's got to protect the ball.
Yep.
He can't turn it over. We all understand that. But he did his job last night. So what's the issue? I still think for those of you that want your future quarterback, we can have that conversation. But this morning, the day after the season comes to a close for the Lions, you can't help but think what you can do if you surround him with quality pieces and quality coaching.
Adham.
And last...
Go on.
I was going to finish by saying, last I checked, over the last 10 games, he had a defense. And in those 10 games, they were 8-2, Jeff.
And that's where I was going with it, too. I mean, you look at the production of the offense, that was never the issue. It was always defensively. What can you get out of this young defense? And they finally showed up for the second half of the season. I mean, except for the Carolina Panthers game. But you get the point. Defense has played better. This offense... Jared Goff is the quarterback of an offense, Adam, that has set records in Lions history for total yards.
People act like he's Baker Mayfield.
Like, what are we doing here? I mean, I'm talking about franchise record. Matthew Stafford, Calvin Johnson led teams. Barry Sanders back in the day. Jared Goff's leading an offense that's historically good in franchise history, and they're going to get better. So, again, do I think Jared Goff is the, in the conversation with Allen, Herbert, Mahomes, these guys? No, but he doesn't have to be. You can win and have success. Let's just get there first before we start talking about Jared Goff compared to these guys. Just sniff success, and Jared Goff can be a big reason for that. I'm excited, man. Jared Goff right now, playing some of his better football. You got him locked up for a couple of years. And like I said before, unlike teams that are in similar situations to the Lions than they were last year, you're winning 3 games, you're in a rebuild. Most of those teams need a quarterback. You don't. You have a quarterback who you can actually keep for a couple of years or even potentially longer than that if you so feel comfortable. So, again, Jared Goff, man, he's the last of the Lions' worries. He's been playing exceptional, and the rapport with him, Ben Johnson, and Mark Brunell, got to give him credit. He's doing a hell of a job as quarterback coach. Jared Goff, he's playing some of the best football of his career. Really has.
Absolutely. Well, look, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick pause. When we get back, I want to revisit the Lions game in Lambeau. The moment was never too big. The lights were never too bright for the Detroit Lions last night. Penalties, big plays called back, untimely plays, untimely mistakes, timely turnovers, timely takeaways. I think we saw a team last night that grew up. I think we saw a very mature Detroit Lions team. I want to have that conversation when we get back, but before we do, I got to tell you about my good friends over at Cousins Maine Lobster. Check out their food trucks, and the only way you can find them is by scanning that QR code or by visiting cousinsmainelobster.com. See where the trucks are. Enjoy this beautiful Victory Monday with some lobster tacos, some clam chowder soup, or their signature and famous Maine lobster roll. We'll be right back with more Lions Talk.
As chilly weather approaches, Big Boy's got the perfect comfort meals for you. Try our hearty classic meatloaf or our creamy Cajun chicken Alfredo. These will be sure to leave you craving for more. How about breakfast? Our stuffed potato pancakes are back with our lumberjack, blockbuster, and Santa Fe garden. These potato pancakes will definitely fill you up. Whether it's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, come stock up on the perfect comfort meal today. We'll see you soon at Big Boy.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
The official meat supplier of the Woodward Sports Network. No, it is not Fish's Dong. It is the one and only Butchery. with our good friend Chef Dave. Artisan
Legendary.
breads, Wagyu meats,
Dave.
sandwiches to die for. You name it, they've got it. Sign up for their exclusive newsletter. Get exclusive deals at thebutcherysl.com, or you can order online, or give them a call, 248-682-COWS. That is 248-682-COWS. We are back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com, as always.
Man. This guy's having a blast.
Oh, hell yeah, I'm having a blast. The hell did you expect? By the way, we just closed the poll. 89% of you believe that Defensive Rookie of the Year is Aidan Hutchinson, and I'm with you guys. Again, I love Sauce all year, and I think rightfully so he's been the front runner. But that performance last night, that might have been the stamp on it. Yep.
Yeah.
So here's what I want to do. In a game where you committed untimely penalties, in a game where you couldn't finish drives, in a game where it was really tough to get points, your team found a way to force key takeaways. Force Aaron Rodgers in positions he didn't want to be in, and make throws he doesn't typically make. And you won that game more than the Packers lost it. And to me, last night, I watched a team that grew up on national television. And again, did they make the playoffs? Did they win it? No, they didn't. They still have a lot ahead of them. But I think that's the point. You are looking ahead for this team and what they can do. And on a Sunday night game, prime time, the world has Aaron Rodgers and the Packers penciled in for a final wild card spot. And you go into Lambeau Field with, quote, nothing to play for, and you beat the bricks off of them. You stuff the run game. You force Aaron to throw multiple interceptions. You force Aaron Rodgers really to play a game he didn't want to play. Excuse me, not multiple interceptions, but, counting that Kirby Joseph one that was called back. But again, you had so many opportunities to fold last night. They take the lead. They get the ball back. You have a quick 3 and out. Here we go. Here comes Aaron. No, watch this. We'll get the ball back. No, watch this. We'll sack him. Actually, we'll sack him not only 1, not only 2, but we'll sack him a total of 2 times. We'll hit him 7 times.
Yeah, they hit him a lot.
We'll pressure him over 15 times. We'll be in his face all game. We'll make sure he can't get cheap underneath routes to Aaron Jones or A.J. Dillon. The Packers weren't world beaters, and I think we all understand that. But not only we understood it, the Lions knew. This is not a Green Bay Packers team that is just so much better than us. I could make the argument going into last night. The only thing that the Packers really had on you was maybe secondary. But your quarterback all season had been better than Aaron. Your run game had been better than the Packers all season long. Your receivers were more reliable all season long. You had the better offensive line. Your front 7 was more impressive last night. You could argue the secondary, sure, you give it to Green Bay, but Jeff, I watched the team grow up on a Sunday night game where they had all the incentive in the world to just show up and play, but not really win anything.
Mm-hmm.
And they went out, they played loose, they played aggressive, and on that final drive, they went for a twice on 4th down, and that to me was a stamp of that's Dan Campbell football.
Yeah.
It was, hey, you know what? This makes sense. I'm not mad that you're going for it on 4th and 1 or 4th and 2. Makes sense here. Go win the game. No problem with it at all. Why would you kick the field goal? Why would you punt and give the Packers hope? Break their hope. Break their will. That's exactly what the Lions did, Jeff.
Yeah, we're watching a team grow up right before our very own eyes. And that was my biggest worry last night. I know Maz mentioned it as well on the pregame show when we were discussing it. Would that Rams and Seahawks game have any effect on the players for the Sunday night game against the Packers? And I didn't think so. I mean, if you've watched this team with Dan Campbell, you know this team is going to be ready to play every single game, no matter what. They'll play in the yard outside, and they'll still play hard. That's not even a question with this team. And you saw that last night. And the thing that worried me was, would these young players be ready to step up to the test and be ready for the moment. And boy, I was wrong. I had worries for guys like James Houston, Aidan, Hutchinson, everybody, Kirby. Just would this moment would the lights be too bright for these guys? And the fact that it wasn't, it's a measuring stick for how close you are. I mean, these guys next year, they played in a big game. That was a playoff atmosphere last night. Sunday Night Football, the whole world's watching, or at least a majority of it. And you do that? You put on that performance to a team that everybody, including myself, picked in the Packers. I'm glad I was wrong. I really was. It's exciting to see the Lions. It was great to see the celebration. I know a lot of players didn't even watch the game. They heard about the result before the game, but they were so focused on the Packers, they didn't even care what happened. Yes, it would have been nice to make the playoffs, but the fact that you have a winning record with such a young team, the second, third youngest team in the NFL, you've seen the player development, you've seen the coaches get better throughout the season. It's everything you could have asked for and more. It really was. So for a team that's so young to put on a performance like that against the Packers, because remember, the Packers, although they've controlled and owned this division for a while, these young players, they don't know that. I mean, these guys are 1, 2, 3 years out of college. They're just like, hey, we're ready to play. Let's go beat the Packers. It doesn't have this stigma attached to it like, oh, no, it's the big bad Packers. They don't know any better. And that's actually sometimes better. Like guys like Kirby, Aidan, these guys, maybe Aidan because he's from Michigan, but everybody else is like, hey, it's just another football game. Let's go play. It was the biggest stage for them this season, and they shined. So it's a positive thing moving forward. And Dan talked about it. Year 3, we want to contend for the division, and the performance last night and the record overall in the division tells me that. 5-1 on the season. You almost were 6-0. This team is poised next year to take that next step. And yes, expectations change. So that means everybody's seat gets a little hotter. Now you got to go out and challenge for the division. But if they do that, man, they got the core to do it. They really do, Adham.
Fair enough. Here's what we got coming up. Ben Johnson. I want to talk about Ben.
Man.
Ben has been excellent. He's been everything and more you could have asked for going into the season. And I'm not even going to entertain the idea of him leaving because there is no job that I believe he would take. I don't think he takes Houston. I don't think he takes Carolina. I don't think he takes Denver. Having said that, Ben Johnson, what he's done, what the Lions must do to keep him, I think he's earned a raise. That's pretty clear to me.
Oh, yeah.
But we can have that conversation in just a minute. Let's take a quick pause. When we get back, Ben Johnson and the offense. Let's have the conversation. But before we do, Jeff, our good friends over at the Sports Marketing Agency.
The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the S Word, helps fight the stigma about seeking help. If you or someone you know is struggling, head to thesportsma.com for more information.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Fowling Warehouse in Hamtramck is the home of the original football bowling game. 2 to play for $12, the unlimited open play. Or you can pay $120 for a lane reservation if you think you're better than all of your friends. You can get up to 10 people to go play. They have the $2 mystery beer machine, the full bar. Check it all out, fowlingwarehouse.com.
All right, we are back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com. Ben Johnson, Jeff.
Yeah.
Big advocates here on the show for him to take the offensive coordinating job October 27th of last season or November. It's one of the two. I apologize.
Yeah. It was right when Anthony Lynn was fired.
Beyond the point. Okay? This is a guy that we expected to take this offense to a next level, and he's done that and more. He's rejuvenated Jared Goff. He's made Amon-Ra St. Brown a third down machine.
Yeah.
He's really built a special offense that I can really only look at around the league and maybe say Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay have done, given their quarterback situation, right? This isn't an offense led by Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. McVay did it with Goff. Shanahan's doing it with Brock Purdy and Jimmy Garoppolo, right? So how is this happening? And yes, the pieces there are nice, but the scheme is more important than anything. His ability to understand what do I do well and how do I disguise it? How do I point out and how do I take advantage of your weaknesses? The guy's been so damn impressive, Jeff. And that play calling down the stretch in the fourth quarter was an embodiment of, yes, Dan Campbell and the culture he's built and that energy I would say he's bringing to the team, but that was some serious big ball play calling. That was some serious, I don't give a fuck. I've got 30 plays here that I know I can beat you with, and I'm going to keep dishing them out. And they did it time after time after time when it mattered most. I've been so impressed with Ben. I have no worries about this team being able to keep him for next year. Now, again, there was only one job that you could have sold me on, and that was the Chargers job. But it looks like Staley's staying. Made the playoffs. They're going on the road to Jacksonville. They should be able to win that game, but regardless, that's a job. Okay, I'd be concerned, but I don't see a job with a horrible organization in Houston, a very very high-tempered owner in Carolina, a Denver team that, yes, good on defense, but Russell Wilson looks like a shell of himself. I'm not having it.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about Ben leaving. Ben's staying, and he's delivered plus some. I think he's earned a raise in the offseason.
Oh, no question. I mean, he deserves a big raise. I mean, he's one of the best offensive coordinators. You can make an argument he might be the best, depending on the things he has around him. Right? The offense has always been the strong suit all year for the Lions. I know in a couple games they laid an egg and go to New England, and there was other games where they struggled, but still they found ways to win, and that was the big thing for me. Defensively, they finally figured it out. The offense has always been the strong suit of this team. This season, with Ben Johnson as the OC, and, of course, Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, everybody, at least that has had success, gives credit to Ben Johnson. That's why we advocated for him so early, is because when Anthony Lynn was fired, the things you'd hear from Brock Wright, Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, everybody talking about Ben Johnson. And you couldn't really put a face to it. You knew who Ben was, but you knew the potential. At least we did. We talked about it. Like, hey, this guy's young. He's innovative. Players love him. He's a great communicator. Got to give him a chance. Dan Campbell did that. The Detroit Lions also did that. Brett Holmes. And now look at him. And next season, I do believe he will be hired away. There's no doubt in my mind. Teams that need a head coach, that specifically want a offensive head coach for their quarterback, if it's a good situation, Ben Johnson's going to interview. There's only 32 jobs. He wants one of them. But I'm with you. I don't think it's this offseason. Looking at the jobs available, I mean,
why?
It does not make any sense for him. Zero. The Chargers
if you're
would be
Ben
the only
Johnson,
one.
What incentive do I have? Put yourself in Ben's shoes. What incentive do I have to leave? I know I'm coaching a top 10 offense next year.
Right.
I know I'm going to be a hot commodity next year.
And they've had success.
Why am I going to go take the Houston job, or the Carolina job, or the Denver job, or even the Arizona job if it becomes available? Why? Why would I do that? I have time, and I have the ability to really bolster my resume with not only, oh, this guy was a one-year wonder, I become a guy that takes the Lions to maybe a point they've never been before.
Yeah.
Offensively. And on top of that, let's all remind ourselves something, huh? As much as we like certain coaches, there's a difference between being the head coach and a coordinator. And some guys are really good at being a coordinator. Some guys can be great at both. Others are just good head coaches but horrible coordinators. You don't know. So it's not a lock that Ben Johnson is this surefire head coach, but boy, does he fit the billing for what the current outlook is. Brian Dable, Kevin O'Connell, first-year coaches, both in the playoffs. One's a division winner. Offensive-minded. Offensive coordinators the year prior, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's where the league is going.
Matt LaFleur.
And then you're going to have your misses, even with Matt LaFleur. But you're going to have your misses, too. You're going to have your misses with Cliff Kingsbury. Now, Josh McDaniels, I don't know how that situation is salvageable, but that's a whole different problem. So if I'm Ben, we'll see what opens up. And if there's a job I believe in, then Ben Johnson will leave. But right now, I don't see a job where if I'm Ben Johnson, I'm looking at it and saying, yep, that's the move. That's the move, Jeff. I think I'm walking away.
Yeah, and they're returning a lot of their pieces offensively that allowed you to be a top 3, top 4 offense. So he knows the pieces are already there. The foundation's laid out. He has the chemistry. He has the rapport with guys like Jared Goff and like I mentioned, receivers and so on and so forth with the entire offense. So for Ben Johnson, it makes the most sense to return, have that same philosophy offensively for this team to still go out and be a top 5 offense, and he's going to get interviewed. I don't think when you're in a position like Ben Johnson is right now, he has all the momentum. I mean, the ball's in his court, or the ball, is in NFL owners and NFL GM's court, because he just has to go out and keep producing. And the fact that we watch Ben Johnson every week, and there's still new plays we're seeing, that's probably the most shocking thing. Is we just watched the last regular season game, and there's 2 plays last night that they didn't do all season.
He hasn't gotten stale.
No, there's still like the flea flicker. You had the hook and ladder. There's things that we're seeing that we're like, where were these plays? Even Carolina, they got blown out. I even said we couldn't get to a lot of the plays we had because we were down by so much so early. So Ben Johnson, we talk about creativity. He checks all those boxes as an OC.
See, I disagree with Alex B in the Woodward Sports Chat, because he says Ben Johnson is taking a head coaching job no matter where it is. There are only a handful of coaches that get to pick. My friend, he is one of those handfuls.
Yeah.
My friend, he is coaching a top 5 offense this year. He, Ben Johnson, will be coaching a top 10 offense next year at worst. Ben Johnson will be a hot commodity. He has time.
Right.
He's young. He's not going anywhere. It's not happening. I don't see it. Now, you're an owner, and you go shell out a 7-year, $85 million contract for Ben Johnson. He's probably gone. I don't know a team that would do that.
Right.
But I do know coaches like Raheem Morris, coaches like Kellen Moore, coaches like Mike Kafka, coaches like maybe Eric Bieniemy. I think he's holding out for Andy Reid, but that's a whole different conversation. There's going to be guys that get their opportunities this year. Maybe Steve Wilkes gets a look. Maybe he's the Carolina coach. Harbaugh might be in the NFL. If I'm Ben, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the right job. And if Sean Payton enters early and goes to Denver, but Dallas fire their coach, that's a job I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Dallas would be a destination I'd be interested in. So that to me is why I'm so sure of Ben Johnson being here. I don't see the job where, oh man, that's a legitimate threat. I don't see it.
And he might not feel like he's ready yet. I mean, he's been an OC for 1 season, which is unbelievable because he's already one of the best OCs in the NFL, but there's still maybe personal growth he still wants to endure. I mean, you still have another season as an OC, and then you become a potential head coach, which we all know, and you alluded to it earlier. There's a difference between being a really good OC and a good head coach. And I think Ben Johnson, when you have leverage like he does, you're allowed to keep growing, because at the end of the day, if you keep up the production he has with this offense, there will be a job for him waiting. There just will. So I don't think Ben's in a position where he's like, I got to take a job. Let me take the Houston job, because Chuck said it best in the chat, and I want to find this. You take a bad head coaching job. Yeah, Chuck Brewer said, you take a bad spot, you're done as a head coach. I mean, he's absolutely correct. That's on your, and that's why I made the argument about Lovie Smith earlier. At the end of the day, that's your record. That record is assigned to your name. So Ben's, of course, going to think about where he's going, and he deserves that right. He's got all the leverage
Nobody
right
wants
now.
to be set up to fail.
No, nobody.
It's that simple. Nobody wants to. And if I'm Ben, again, I have options. I'm young. I'm doing a hell of a job my first year as an offensive coordinator.
Dan will continue to groom him.
I can come back next year, and you know what? Something he is learning, I think that we can give Dan Campbell credit for. I think he's understanding the importance of team building.
Yes.
Locker room, controlling a locker room. He's never lost the locker room. And that is an important trait he will learn, and that he is learning currently. Now, can he execute it? Who knows? But that is for the future. I am almost willing to bet any and everything that Ben Johnson's the offensive coordinator of this Detroit Lions team heading into next season. But till then, we have all off season to do this. We'll get into the mock drafts. We'll get into draft position. We'll get to all that. But I want to close the show off before we get to Mailbag with our final thoughts on the season. I want to close this Monday special show, this really special show, with what we've all seen this year and why Detroit is a city filled with optimism and hope for the first time in my lifetime. Why is that? I want to have that conversation coming up, but before we do, Jeff, I got to tell everybody about our good friends over at Lady Jane's. They buzzed your hair, and they damn sure take care of me because I look like a gorilla half the time. So shout out to JC and all the great stylists over at Lady Jane's. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week, walk in anytime, no appointment necessary. Like I mentioned, their awesome stylists will take care of you, like they take care of me, of course. So get to a Lady Jane's near you, open 10 to 8, no appointment necessary. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Tell you about our new friends over at Matrix Home Solutions. Whether you're looking to renovate your basement, your bathroom, or you're looking for a new man cave, they specialize in all of it. They got an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau. Visit them at matrixhomesolutions.com or give them a call, 888-594-8844. That's 888-594-8844. We are back here on the Morning Woodward Show, and I hear all of you, and I see all of you. Dan Campbell, Coach of the Year talks. I want you to take off your Lions Honolulu blue glasses and hear me out.
Put down the Kool-Aid.
I am not diminishing what Dan Campbell has done this year. But Coach of the Year? If it's not Nick Sirianni for best record, which first-year head coach has made the playoffs?
Doug Peterson.
Who else?
Kevin O'Connell.
Who else?
Think, can I give him a hint?
Brian Daboll.
Oh, and Brian Daboll. Yes, correct.
Think New York.
Did Jacksonville have the worst record in the league last year?
They did.
Did they not win their division?
They did.
Okay. That's case in point one why Peterson is above Campbell. Number 2, Brian Daboll. Are they not 9-8? Did they not make the playoffs?
Yep.
Or excuse me, 9-7-1, correct?
Yeah.
They made the playoffs, Jeff. They're in. They made it. Kevin O'Connell wins his division year 1, 13-4, second, or tied for the second best record in the NFC, third seed overall. All these coaches are ahead of him, including Nick Sirianni. And as much as I want to really fight for Dan to get some Coach of the Year votes, I don't think he's Coach of the Year. Doug Peterson won the division, took his team from the worst record, number 1 overall pick, to winning the division. Does that not matter? So I have a tough time giving the vote to Dan. I think he's done a hell of a job, 8-2 down the stretch. He deserves some votes. But if I'm placing my first, second, and third place ballot, my first place ballot's going to Nick Sirianni. Second place is going to Doug Peterson. Third place is going to Brian Daboll. Fourth place is going to Dan Campbell. And maybe you can convince me Dan over Daboll. I could agree with that. I don't mind that. But he's not even the top 2 for me. You got to win something. You've got to earn something. You can't just go 9-8. The Jaguars are 9-8, and they're hosting a playoff game. Now you can talk about their division, circumstances, whatever you want, but that doesn't change the fact that they're division winners.
Right.
Think I care if you win the division at 9-8 or 13-4? That matters, does it not?
No, it does. And I'm currently just looking at the odds. I wanted to see real quick what the odds are currently, because I do think as much respect and credit you got to give to Dan Campbell for the season the Lions have had. I mean, 1-6 to now a winning record. It's extremely impressive. But to your point, there's just been better seasons. Like Nick Sirianni.
There's been a lot of good stories. Nick Sirianni,
Right,
Doug
Doug
Peterson,
Peterson.
Brian Dable,
Right.
Dan Campbell, Kevin O'Connell. They're all, yeah, here you go. Stick them on. Can you zoom out my camera a little bit?
Yeah, he just talked to me and said, is his hookah still lit? I said,
Here,
I'm
let
pretty
me-
sure it
let me
is.
adjust it for you.
Uh-oh.
Should be good.
Oh, yeah.
Grapefruit mint. Feel great?
Oh, tastes like victory. I'm going to miss these.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss these.
No more champagne
Damn
for the
season's
victories.
over.
Adam's going to find a way. He's going to make a big bet the day before, and then he's going to...
Sirianni,
blow your
Peterson,
smoke out.
Dable, they're all in that conversation. It can't just be Dan.
To me, it's Doug Peterson.
Thank you.
It's Doug Peterson.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
You're talking Mr. Crackman himself 2.0, except a little younger and not as fat. So,
Crackman!
Six out of
I'm
five.
feeling good today, boys. I don't have to wear an Aaron Rodgers jersey for a year.
Yeah.
Pat
we
McAfee.
won the bet.
Yeah.
We won the bet.
Yes.
Pat McAfee, they're doing all their stuff tonight for the national championship game. Then we're going to work out where we should bring them in Detroit, because we need a big-ass venue for this.
we're going to make it happen.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
going to make it happen. It's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be special.
That is incredible.
Let's take a break. When we get back... Oh, wait. What am I doing?
I was terrified. Sorry.
We're not going to break. You're
good. I was terrified, Jeff, because of how much crap I gave you about shaving your head.
Yeah.
That I was going to have to actually man up and wear an Aaron Rodgers jersey for a year.
And honestly, I gave you a lot of credit for that. It takes a lot of balls, number one, to bet on the Lions in prime time at the end of the year. And they showed up for his stick. Pat McAfee.
He did.
Come on, buddy. Come over to Detroit.
Hey, do you have an Aaron Rodgers jersey?
I don't. I was going to order one today. We were going to do it online, like a part of a show. Like it was going to be a whole thing.
Stick has an unmeasurable hatred
Why would I have an
for Aaron Rodgers?
jersey?
I don't know.
This man
You
would
made the
burn
bet.
it
I didn't know if
it
you
was in his
ordered one
possession.
before. I didn't know if you had one ready, and then
You made a great bet, though.
so
Well
you
done.
could have burned it.
Well
Hey,
done,
today
buddy.
could have been the day you would have
Good job.
burned
The
it.
Lions did it.
You should have got one
Lions
before. You should have got one before,
Fish,
so
shut
today
the
you
hell
can
up.
burn it. You
Fish,
could have burned it today.
The team that can and will.
And they did.
And they did.
And they did to their credit.
I wore the honorary Woodward Sports Blue shirt.
I love it.
Hey,
I love
Sorry to
it.
interrupt.
You're
Had to
good,
smoke
buddy.
for Victory Monday.
You're
We've been
good.
doing it at
You're always
Feldman all
good.
the time.
I
I saw
love
the
it.
hookah rolled in here, and here we go.
You guys were getting, they were
Hey.
getting lit last night in the post-game stream. You had ketchup flavored Lays. You guys were trying. I mean, it was a blast.
100%. Well, look,
I'm
here's
not
what
a
I want
fan
to
of
do.
it, yeah.
We talked about Coach of the Year a little bit.
can't
Now I want to
comment?
get to my why we went to break originally before all this happened.
Yes.
Why, and I want you to start, Jeff. Why is there so much optimism? Why is there so much hope going into next season? A lot of it, again, I want you to say it because I think I've said it too much now.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen how the season has played out. You've seen what the GM has been able to do. I don't recall a time where even after Caldwell went 11-5, that you went into an off season
Right.
this confident, this inspired, this hopeful in the Detroit Lions football team.
Well, it's a couple of things. One, it's the blueprint, the formula in which Dan Campbell talked about, and now it's being instilled, and you're seeing them win games because of it. So with the philosophy Dan Campbell has presented or brought to the Lions, you see the success there. You see what can happen. The 8-2 stretch to end the season. And on top of that, they're doing it with young players that aren't going anywhere, like I say. So with those two things combined, you see the winning formula, you see how they can win games. Their entire game plan offensively is through the offensive line. Everything starts up front, defensively and offensively. Brad Holmes has drafted accordingly. The entire organization from top to bottom is on the same page with how they want to build this team, right? The formula works, the personnel work, and on top of that, you're doing it with rookies and second-year players on your defense. Yes, you have veterans, especially on the offensive line, but some of your most impactful players, Adam, are first- and second-year guys. That's why there's optimism, because you see how much more and how much better these guys can get from this year to next season. So with all that combined, with young players getting better, you're continuing to add talent like Brad Holmes will do, and you have a philosophy that works with Dan Campbell, and the way he coaches, the way he presents himself, you see a future with this team. It's hard not to, because like Terry pointed out, and I'm going to keep saying it because I think it's a great point, even Terry, and Terry's probably the most skeptical man at this station, he said it himself. They've done this in the past, but they didn't do it with young players, and they're doing it with young players, Adam. That's why people are so optimistic moving forward, is you're going to have these impactful players for years to come before you even have to make a decision to pay them or not.
All right, well, here's what I want to do, because I'm not going to reiterate what you just said, because what you said was so correct. I want to give out Monday reaction, not overreaction, but Monday reaction awards, regular season. MVP, we'll go through the list. Let's start with MVP. I think we both agree, Patrick Mahomes.
Yes. Yeah.
Fair enough. Patrick Mahomes MVP, Offensive Player of the Year. I've got Justin Jefferson. Who do you got?
I would agree with you. Justin Jefferson this season, he's been an absolute animal.
All right,
he deserves that.
Defensive Player of the Year. Give me it.
Ooh, this one I would probably say Nick Bosa.
I'm going to agree with you.
He's been a monster. He deserves to be in the MVP conversation.
I don't like that we're agreeing, but it's the right decision, so I can't be mad at being right.
Yeah.
Yes. Nick Bosa, Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year.
I would say
was supposed to be Breece Hall.
Yeah.
You could make the case Chris Olave, but I think it's Kenneth Walker.
Wow, okay. I'm going to say Garrett Wilson.
Really?
Just because he was there since the beginning. Kenneth kind of came a little later.
Still ran for 1,000 yards.
You're right. So if we're talking about the entire
season,
Garrett.
I'm going to go Kenneth.
If we're talking about the entire season, probably Garrett Wilson. He's played with like 4 different quarterbacks, and he has almost 1,000. He has like 800 yards, I believe.
Olave has more yards. Drake London has just as many.
I get it. If you want to give it to K9, that's fine. I wouldn't be mad. K9 or Garrett, to me, deserve the award.
All right. I'm going to go K9. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Here's your chance. Redemption. Go for it.
You said Defensive Rookie of the Year?
It's a tough one.
Why do you got to say that?
It's tough, man. Because I don't want to write off Sauce Gardner.
Yeah,
and I don't. Maybe writers don't write him off, and maybe they pencil him in. Who knows?
Yes.
But for me today, I'm going Aidan, man.
This is my problem. This is why it's so close for me, because am I looking at consistency, or am I looking at flash? Like, Aidan's had huge plays, and he's made a lot of plays. 3 interceptions, 9.5 sacks. Statistically, he matches up, and he deserves to be in the conversation. But Sauce, since week 1, the very start of the season till now, he's been one of the best corners in the NFL. He's been consistent. So in a way, if they give it to Sauce, I won't be mad, because you're awarding consistency. But at the same time, he's made noise. I'm going to say I'm going to give the slight edge to Sauce, just because of that consistency. Aidan, there was games early in the season where he just didn't simply show up, and that's not a bad thing. Still excited for the future. But am I going to knock Sauce for being more consistent all season? I can't do that. I just can't. But I'm going to give it slightly to Sauce.
I think that's fair, but I'm going to go Aidan. I can't after what I watched last night. Regardless, final award, Coach of the Year. Stick said Doug Peterson. Who are you giving the award to?
I'm going to say Nick Sirianni. I'm going to say Nick Sirianni. I get Doug Peterson because he has the storyline, from worst to first. But people forget, Nick Sirianni last season, he wasn't worse, but you're 9-8, and then you improved to 14-3, and you look at their offense. Yes, they have a ton of talent, but to me, Philly's been one of the best teams from start to finish with Jalen Hurts. I'm going to give it slightly to Nick Sirianni, but if you say Doug Peterson, I think that's another one that I wouldn't be mad at if he won the award. I wouldn't.
So I struggled with this one because I really want to say Doug Peterson, but it is Nick Sirianni. Best record in the NFL, 9-8 to 14-3, division winners, number 1 seed. They've earned it. They've deserved it. They've played this final stretch of games without their quarterback. It's meant a lot. They'll get healthy. They are one of the better teams in the NFL. They're the best team for sure.
Yes.
You could argue in the NFC, maybe you can argue the Niners, but we'll see how that all plays out in the playoffs. We'll take a break. When we get back, mailbag time. Get your questions in the chat. Jeff and I will answer them accordingly. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Cintron.
Let me tell you about them. Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings. Cintron has combined all 3 of the delicious flavors into a limited edition 6-pack sampler box. You can pre-order your Cintron 6-pack today at cintronworld.com/Red Wings. Get energized with Cintron.
What's a winter wonderland if you can't shop, eat, and play? Lucky for you, you can do it all at the Downtown Detroit Market, Cadillac Lodge, and the new winter version of the Monroe Street Midway, all located just across the street from Campus Martius Park. Find the fun at deckedoutdetroit.com.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
At Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, Alta has you covered. Call them today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
All right, we are back. No, we're not.
Okay, now find it like you did. You were really into that, so.
Oh, yeah. I need it a little tighter, but that's fine. Right, Jeff?
Why you gotta do me like that?
We could talk over Jeff getting his hair buzzed because there's no audio in here. Your mics are on. There's no audio going on. Just talk over Jeff getting his hair buzzed.
Fish,
Okay,
shut
Jeff's
the fuck
getting
up.
his hair buzzed.
Fish, shut
It's going
up.
very well.
You guys threw me off. I wasn't expecting this. Thanks for the heads up, you jackass.
This is Adam being the shaving off his alfalfa. By the way,
Poor Jeff.
a lot of people want you.
Can you forward this? Forward it a little bit? I just want to get to the part where I cut it off.
It's coming.
They let me cut off the last piece of it.
It's coming right here. You did a terrible job.
She was so mad at me, by the way. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Like,
Giving the guy. Oh,
I kind of, honestly, I wanted to get rid of the clip protector and just, go zero, but, Jeff wasn't going to allow it. But what are you going to do? Jeff, I'm proud of you, though.
Look at that, dude. I'm trying.
Shout out to Sam Fisher for filming it.
We're back.
Fish is a fucking idiot, by the way.
Why am I an idiot?
Just mute your mic, honestly. You
I
drive
help-
me nuts.
I saw there was no audio in the thing. I help you.
No,
You guys were
mute your
just gonna
mic.
just
Mute your
have
mic.
dead sound.
Mute your mic.
You want dead
Mute your
sound
mic.
if something's happening? That's great
Mute
for
your
people
mic.
listening.
Mute your mic.
That's great. All right. Trying to help out, I should be
Fucking
home
cow.
watching my
Mute your
team play
mic.
cricket right now.
Yeah,
Mute
you
your mic.
should.
Go watch darts.
I love some cricket, Fish.
Thank you. I should be watching my team on the couch right now, but instead I'm here hanging out with my
Mute your
lovely
mic.
people.
Mailbag time. Questions in the chat. Jeff, let's start. Wow, this is a good one. Should the Lions offer Ben Johnson the head coaching job? What?
To
Ben Johnson.
Who?
Why would
What
they
team?
do the Lions?
Oh,
what are we doing? You could have maybe pitched that to me when they were
Come
1-6.
on, dude.
You cannot say
Come
that
on.
when they're
That-
9-8.
that ain't
We're not
good.
doing that. Next question. Clearly, we need DB help. Are you taking Ringo or Porter Jr.? I would love to have either of them. We'll see who's available.
Yeah.
I don't mind taking a swing at Ringo at 6. 18 Porter would be nice, but you can't guarantee he'll be there. Just saying. I'm a big fan of taking a DB this year. Jeff Okudah injured. Excuse me. Elbow injury.
You did that on purpose, didn't you? You son of a bitch.
Come on, we all know it's true.
You go.
I mean, we don't
He was
have to
benched, injured.
Look, I know it's a really great day and all, but come on. Like, I think we all agree. An elbow injury, really? In the
He
biggest game of the year?
He suffered it Friday in practice.
Yeah.
Oh my
God. I know he did. I'm sure he's hurt. I hope he recovers.
Adam, Sean asked, Sean says, I miss Maddie. Will she ever be back on the show?
No.
No.
Suck it, Sean.
Wow, all right.
Wow.
Damn, Sean.
All right.
Where will Woodward Sports draft party be held at? I don't know yet. We'll figure that out. We have time.
Yeah, this is now this season.
We don't know.
No?
We have a few venues picked out, but we'll see. We're going to make it pretty special this year. I'm excited.
But hey, is today still considered Black Monday, by the way?
Didn't I tell you mute your mic?
Well, I'm adding something to the show.
Well, you're not. So mute your mic.
What do you mean I'm not? Today's the day where all the
Mute.
coaches get fired.
Your mic.
Dang.
Can I go home, please?
You've got 6 minutes. Mute
Well,
your mic and then you can go home. Adam and Jeff, what are your opinion on the idea that the NFL is rigged? It was trending on Twitter during the Rams-Seahawks game. You know what? I think if the calls were going the other way around, nobody in Detroit would have a problem with it. So, Tough shit.
Yeah.
No, I don't think NFL games are rigged. Do I think there's cheating involved? I think there is. I think we've seen this with refs. It's happened before. I think you'd be naive not to believe it, but let's relax here.
Yeah.
The NFL wanted Green Bay in. There's a reason they were playing Sunday night. That's who the NFL wanted in. And it didn't seem that they rigged it in favor of the Packers last night, did it?
Nope. Lions had something to do about that.
All right, moving on.
Jesse asked Mailbag, do you guys think the Lions should let Romeo Okwara go to save some cash or keep him and draft more depth there?
I would save the money.
Yeah.
Save the money, go get a veteran corner, go get a veteran linebacker, draft a linebacker, draft a corner. You got a lot of work to do. This defense still has a lot of work to do, but there is going to be money available. Now, you won't be able to spend it all. You still have to sign your draft picks, but this is a good situation for Brad Holmes. I'm very confident what's going on heading into this offseason. Let's see what else we have.
I love this one. Robert says, I'll come back to this channel later when there are real hosts on. What jerks?
Robert, my friend, Robert.
We're
Robert
jerks, man.
Den Duven. Do me a
Dang,
favor, buddy.
I didn't want to be called a jerk.
Robert, do me a favor.
Yes.
I try to be polite to everybody, but for you, I'll make the exception. Robert Den Duven, suck my fucking dick as if I care. Honestly, I don't give a single fuck.
Anything else?
I don't. Moving on.
Oh, that's it.
Let's see. What else we got in here? Would you be mad if the Lions drafted an offensive guard with one of their top picks? Yeah, I'm not buying a first-round pick with that.
No, not
but
a first round.
I did tell you, 6-7 weeks ago, it's a position they're going to have to address, whether it's in the second or third round, whether it's in free agency. You're going to need one. You're going to need one. I think we're all sick and tired of seeing the same stuff happen week in and week out.
Right.
That's a change you're going to have to. That's a change you're going to have to make. Mailbag, keep Big V or draft a replacement. You're calling this one, Jeff.
Draft a replacement. Big V's making a lot of money. You got to decide. He was injured all season. You probably want a young guy at that guard position, and they'll probably address that, whether it's free agency or through the draft. So, yes, I would replace Big V, but at the same time, these guys haven't played. The offensive line hasn't played together entirely healthy either. So, you really don't know the potential either. So, there's that as well. Real quick, did you see, before we get to a question, did you see Quay Walker shove the athletic trainer last night?
I did.
That was pathetic.
Throw a hissy fit in the hallway going back to the locker room?
Yeah, that was...
Man, that's a bad look.
You know what else was a bad look? That Steeler celebration. CPR. That was distasteful.
I know. I agree. They've done that all season.
I know.
But they probably should have not done that.
But they probably should have thought that one
after
through.
DeMars. Yeah, that's a little messed up.
But Quay Walker, that was weird. Okay, fine. Go ahead.
I was shocked you did it. There's a big game tonight. I don't know if any of you are aware.
Fucking Christ. Why did I say yes?
No, there's a big game. TCU versus Georgia.
I don't give a shit about TCU and Georgia.
Game.
I don't care. If I cared, it would have been in the show prep.
Yeah.
It's the college football national championship.
And nobody gives a fuck.
Okay, except for those two teams and all the people that watch.
Do we live in Georgia or Texas?
We do not. We live in Michigan.
Shut the fuck up.
Will you watch tonight?
No.
I'm sure you'll watch.
I'm sorry you'll watch.
You'll watch. There's nothing else on. There's like 50 channels of that game.
I'm going to enjoy my Monday night by
no
chugging
Pistons,
down some
no
NyQuil
wings.
And taking some steroids. Moving on.
Jeff,
that's
will you
it
watch?
For the show. Fish, shut the hell up.
Fish, they took my hair, but I might tune in. They took my hair, but TCU's.
Please don't.
Did you guys see Amon-Ra St. Brown's ass catch, though?
I did. Pretty impressive.
It was funny. Matt LaFleur waiting to challenge it, and he just puts it back. He watches replays like, shit, I ain't doing that.
Yeah. He caught it. He caught it. It was exceptional. Yeah. That's it for today's show. Thank you to everybody who joined us this morning. Make sure... Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to Woodward Sports. Appreciate all of you. Make sure you check out woodwardsports.com as always for the latest news on your favorite teams, latest articles, opinions, breaking news as well. We're out of here. Jeff, as always, thank you. Fish, go to hell. Mike, thank you for the fill-in. We're out of here. Have a great Monday. Thank you for an incredible Detroit Lions regular season. We had so much fun with each and every single one of you. Can't thank you enough for sticking by us from week 1 to week 18. We'll get into the playoffs now. We'll get into the off season. The show will go on. We're so very thankful again. Appreciate you all. Have a good one. See you tomorrow morning.
Have a good day, everyone. Go enjoy all the great action today. College football national championship game. How do you not?